Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this world. Welcome to the webinar on overcoming your anxiety with delegations. My name is CoachMichaelLin, and I do coaching, training, consulting in business negotiation, emotional intelligence, and leadership. So let's crack right into the webinar on how to overcome your anxiety with delegation. I understand as a manager, as a leader, by the way, throughout the webinar, we're going to use the term manager, leader, supervisor, boss interchangeably, all right? They all mean the same thing within the context of this webinar. So I understand a lot of you have heard the notion, you've heard the concept of you need to delegate more. You need to delegate as much as possible. But I also understand for many, many of you, you got hang-ups, there are anxieties, you have concerns, you have legit concerns, all right? The first concern you have is you won't get done right 100%. And the second concern is, by the time I explain everything, I could have done it myself 3 times already. And the third concern you may have is, after they screw everything up, who has to go back in there and redo it? Me, poor old me. I will have to redo it and repair the damage they caused. What a waste of time. And the fourth concern you may have is, I really, really don't want to be viewed as not carrying my own weight, dumping my own fair share of the workload. And the worst of all is, I don't want to be accused of practicing favoritism, being accused of playing favoritism. And they accuse me of, why do you keep on giving the good jobs to Johnny? Okay, I'd rather not go through that experience ever again. So those are some of your concerns, all right? So let me introduce what I would call the next level thinking, the next level insight, the next level wisdom. And once you acquire this next level thinking, all your old concerns will be addressed. All of your old concerns will be resolved. You will have a higher level thinking to look at the whole issue of delegation. You will see why you need to delegate as much as possible and how to go about doing it. All right. Let's look at this from what's in it for me, for everybody, for your employees, for yourself, and for your boss, and the upper management, and the entire corporation. You see, from your employees' point of view, okay, they're kind of just like you in the sense that you appreciate being given opportunities to practice, to do things you've never done before, to challenge yourself, to push yourself, right? You appreciate being promoted, being given tasks, being given challenges you've never done before, right? Thinking back, I don't care if you're 20 years old or 80 years old. I am pretty sure you have had managers, bosses, school teachers, parents, or just parental figures in your life who took a chance on you and gave you something. Thinking back about those events, those opportunities, those people who gave you those opportunities and tasks and responsibilities, those people who took a risk on you, how do you feel? How do you feel about that event? And how do you feel about the people who took a chance on you? I'm pretty sure you feel nothing but warm and fuzzy feelings, good feelings, and you feel grateful, you feel thankful, right? Exactly. So your employees will feel the same. Okay, they're also looking for opportunities, especially the good employees. If you hire the right person, if you put in the right company culture, which I talked about in some of my other coaching, leadership training webinars, you can look them up. And if you have the right people, if you have the right culture, when you go to them with a new task, they are gonna be happy. They will say nothing but I want it. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. Oh, they might even say, hey, boss, actually, I've been meaning to ask you for the past 3 months if I could take that over. And you think if I asked you 4 months ago, you would have given it to me? They are looking for opportunities. They're looking for growth. Now, let's talk about what's in it for me, for you the manager, you the supervisor, you the boss. You see, there are tasks that have been on your plate for the longest time. They were a challenge to you once upon a time. But now you've done it 1,000,000 times. You can do it with your eyes shut. You can do it while you're sleeping. You have probably been doing them while you were sleeping. All right? They are no longer a challenge for you. They are now just busy work. So they are no longer the best use of your valuable time. You have only got 24 hours a day. I'm sure you're a time management expert. You squeeze. So you're kind of like, you got 25 hours a day, but that's just 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. You got no more, okay? So it's no longer the best use of your time to hold on to those tasks. It's time to get them off your plate and give them to someone else as an opportunity to grow. You see, here's the thing, okay? You were an expert, an employee, But now you are no longer just an expert doing the hands-on task. You are now an organizer of other experts. You got to start thinking like an employer, not just an employee performing one task. So this is a major, major software operating system upgrade you need to perform, and only you can perform on yourself. The corporation, the business can give you a promotion, a new title, a new corner office, or new salary, I should hope, a new business card, okay? Those are all given to you. But this software upgrade, this operating system upgrade, you can only perform yourself, which is from employee/expert mindset to employer/organizer of other experts kind of a mindset. This is a major mindset upgrade, okay? In the past, you were just the expert, and you hoard tasks, and you take pride in, I can do it, let me do it, this is my joy, this is my pride in getting it done right, don't take my joy away from me, and I don't want to show it to anyone else, I can't be bothered showing this to anyone else, look, I got it done, why should I show it to anyone else or everyone else? They're all idiots anyway, look at how smart I am. That was good thinking as an expert. That is no longer good thinking as the organizer of other experts. Your new thinking is, if you don't organize, other people cannot do their jobs. From your boss and from the upper management, from the corporation's point of view, they look at you and look at the entire organization. Old people are forever retiring. Guess what? Nobody's getting any younger. All right? The clock just ticks. And everybody is just aging and aging and aging. That's just nature. And you cannot disagree. You cannot argue against Mother Nature. So old people are retiring and everybody is moving one level up. So your boss is looking at you and go, yeah, I would like to promote you if at all possible. However, if I promoted you, who's going to replace you? Have you groomed anyone yet? Oh, no, you haven't. Oh, I guess you're stuck. So the old thinking as expert is you don't want to be replaced. You hoard tasks and you build a castle and you are the only person who knows how to do those things. And you take your joy and your pride and it's me. Look at me. Only I can do it. No one else can do it. That's old mindset as expert at the employee level. As a leader, the leadership way of thinking is you want to groom your own replacement. And you want to just pass all the tasks and expertise, pass them down, trickle down. And you cannot be promoted if you cannot be replaced. That's the new thinking. You might want to write this down. You cannot be promoted if you cannot be replaced. I cannot be promoted to the next level. I cannot advance to the next level until I groom and train my own replacement. That's completely counterintuitive to someone who is at the employee level. But it's essential thinking if you want to think like a leader. Let's look at this beyond just a corporation, all right? Let's look at this for any organization. Let's look at this, just look at human society or just a species. Just look at nature, all right? I'm sure you've all seen nature shows on TV, right? Birds, they would mate, they would build a nest, they would have eggs, they would sit on those eggs, and then the eggs would hatch, and little birdies would come out, and the birdies would look up and sing, and basically says, mommy, daddy, feed me, please. So mommy and daddy will go find food, warm or what have you, bring them back and feed those little birdies. And then as time moves on, one day mommy and daddy will say to those little birdies, you know what, get out of here. I've been feeding you long enough, all right? Your wings are strong enough, all right? I think I can see you're ready to fly. So get out of here, fly. Go find yourself a girlfriend. Have some eggs of your own. Go sit on them. Imagine if birdies didn't do that. The bird species will come to an end. Now imagine yourself, you are 90 years old. You live in a nursing home, okay? Your son is 70 years old. He also lives in the same nursing home. Are you still spoon-feeding him? Are you still putting on his jacket for him? Are you still tying up his shoelaces for him? Or is that something that you have taught him, you have delegated to him a long time ago, right? We should hope you have done that a long time ago. If by the time he's 70, you haven't done that yet, it's kind of bad. Imagine a profitable company. They never hire any new employees. They never groom new employees to take over step by step, level by level. What's going to happen to this company? A decade down the road, 2 decades down the road. Imagine if at this company, the youngest employee is 80 years old. What's going to happen? There will be no more company, right? Because nobody lives forever. This is why from the corporation's perspective, they want you to delegate as much as possible to pass the knowledge down, to pass the information down, to create opportunities, to create jobs for other people, while you take on a higher challenge, a challenge of better return on investment. Now, imagine again, you're the pilot, you're the captain of a 747 jumbo jet. All right, you got 400 passengers. Now, as the captain, as the pilot of this 747 jumbo jet with 4 giant engines, do you think it's your job to go to the back of the plane and serve coffee? Or clean the lavatory? Or is that something that you should have delegated away to someone else? You have more important things to worry about. Now, imagine again, if you're the chief executive officer of a major airline, right, with hundreds of planes, thousands of flights going on all over the world, do you think it's your job to actually fly a plane from, say, Los Angeles to Sydney, Australia? Or maybe you got something bigger to worry about, right? Like looking into the new aircraft that's being designed. And maybe you should be negotiating with aircraft manufacturers, Boeing and Airbus. Maybe you should be thinking about, are we going to be Boeing only? Are we going to be Airbus only? Or are we going to be half and half, right? And those are the things that you should be worried about. You shouldn't be thinking about taking an actual flight as a pilot to fly a plane with 400 passengers behind you from Sydney to Los Angeles, right? That's something that you should delegate away to a pilot. What are some of the tasks and responsibilities that you should never, ever delegate away? Well, you might want to write this down, okay? How about hiring, and then the opposite of hiring, which is firing? How about promotion, and then the opposite of promotion, which is demotion, okay? How about any kind of strategic planning? Any kind of thinking, planning, capital allocation, be it capital equipment allocation, those kind of things, any kind of strategic planning, you shouldn't be delegating. Any kind of a hiring or termination decisions, that's you. Evaluating employees, and then promotion and demotion as a result of evaluation, observing your employees, coaching your employees, those are the things that you should not be delegating away. Now, even coaching, right? You should also coach your best performers to learn how to coach. And I do have a webinar on coaching, and part of it, I do emphasize the absolute necessity that not only you have to coach your best performer, you also have to promote the culture. You also have to coach your best performers on how to coach others on the team. Now, who should you pick as the lucky candidate, lucky candidates for some good old-fashioned delegation? Well, I have 5 simple criteria. You want to pick someone who, number 1, wants to do more. Number 2, wants to learn more. Number 3, has a good, positive attitude toward learning. And number 4, has great potential for growth, personal and professional growth. And number 5, someone who would appreciate the opportunity. That's a good candidate for delegation. How might the chosen candidate react or respond to you wanting to delegate certain responsibility down to him or her? They might be extremely happy to hear the good news. Boss, I've been meaning to ask you. If I asked you 3 months ago, would you have given it to me? Or they might be frightened. What? Me? Do what? I'm not good enough. I'm not qualified. I have no training. They might get scared. They might start hyperventilating. You never know. If that's the initial response, you might have to help them by boosting their confidence just a little. Hey, it's part of the growing process. I'm sure you're not born to know how to brush your teeth, right? Tie up your shoelaces, drive a car, use the computer. I'm going to help you every step of the way. And this thing, I wasn't born to know this thing myself. I learned it, and I made a few mistakes, and it was humiliating, right? Hey, it's all part of the growth, right? No pain, no gain. So I'm giving you a golden opportunity. I think you have great potential, so I'm here to help you. And over time, you want to create a culture that there's a bit of a healthy competition amongst your employees when it comes to being delegated to. I'm talking about a healthy competition, not a negative, nasty, destructive culture of competition. Okay, there's a big difference. Now, what if someone says, that's not my job? Here's the thing, all right? Nobody's allowed to say, that's not my job. However, anyone, especially people with people who are a professional, people with an area of expertise, everyone is entitled, is allowed to say, well, boss, that is not my area of expertise. That is not my profession. That is not my career trajectory. Okay, for example, a car mechanic, a good car mechanic, he may or may not want to learn how to fix Volkswagen diesels. He might say, look, I'm happy with gasoline cars. I know how to fix domestic. I know how to fix Japanese and Korean. But I do not want to learn how to fix Volkswagen diesels because, in my humble opinion, I think Volkswagen and then their diesel cheating gate little drama, I think that ruined the future of passenger diesel cars here in America. So I don't see a future in it. Therefore, I do not wish to learn how to fix Volkswagen diesels. Right? That is perfectly legit. And he might come to you with, "Hey, boss, just on that topic, I would like to learn how to fix Toyota hybrid because I see a future in it. So how about you send me to some Toyota hybrid training, and next time if a customer comes in with a hybrid, can you let me take a crack at it?" That would be legit. Okay. Or for example, maybe a payroll expert. A payroll expert, he or she may or may not want to become an HR expert. You may say, look, those two professions are adjacent. And some people are expert in both. Some people know both payroll and HR, but some people just want to do payroll. They don't want to do HR. They just want to do payroll. They don't want to do accounting. You may say, look, payroll, accounting, bookkeeping, that's adjacent. But they may say, no, I'm not interested. I just want to become the best payroll expert and know everything within payroll. And that's totally legit. And another example is, say, a plumber who doesn't want to learn anything electrical. Let's say if you run a construction crew and you got a bunch of plumbers today, but you have an emergency. You need somebody to wire up 240 volts. Just so happens you don't have a plumber, you don't have an electrician on site who knows how to wire up a three-phase 240 volts. And you go to your master plumber and say, "Hey, Johnny, you're a master plumber. You're pretty smart. Why don't you come over here to wire up this 240 volts three-phase electrical panel?" The correct answer from him is going to be, "No, sir. No, I will not touch that thing with a 10-foot pole." All right. Because number one, I am not trained. I'm not qualified. Okay. I don't want to kill myself. I don't want to kill anyone else. And I don't want to kill you. And I don't want to kill your business. I don't want you to get sued. So I'm not touching it. Go get yourself a proper electrician. And if you got any challenging plumbing jobs, give me a holler. So when you delegate, you really have to delegate the tasks according to their profession and then their career trajectory. Where do they want to go? Now, if you're delegating a task to one of the employees, all right, this is how you teach them, train them, or show them, whatever you want to call it. All right. The first time you do it, they stand right next to you and then they watch. And then you do it. You can do it fast, get it done first, right? And then the second time, you got to do it slow. You got to explain every single step of the way and allow them to ask questions. And you want to explain, why do we do it this way and why do we not do it that way? The pros and cons of doing it this way and not doing it that way. You allow them to take whatever notes they want to take and take their time taking their notes. The next round, all right, you have the employee do the task. And you stand right next to him. And then you allow him to ask you any questions that he wants. And if he forget where he's supposed to go next, right, you should drop hints. Rather than tell him, just drop hints, help him to figure out why the next step is the next step. Why do they do things the way that, why do we do things the way we do it? All right? And quite often, if you can see the employee is about to make a mistake, and by making this mistake, it will not cost the company $1 million. It will not result in employee getting their hand chopped off by the machine. It will not result in rebuilding a house that's like the Leaning Tower in Pizza in Italy. Okay, that will not result in the nurse giving the patient the wrong medicine and killing the patient. If it's gonna be a $2 mistake, if it's gonna cost the employee 5-10 minutes of his time, or even if it's an hour of the employee's time, and he's on the company clock, let them go ahead and make that mistake. Because quite often, making a mistake is actually the least expensive, the most efficient method to learn something. Think about it. Before, everybody had a GPS in your cell phone, right? Before GPS, we all had maps, right? So you're moving to a new city. How did you learn that new city you just moved into? By driving around and getting lost. Making mistakes is one of the most efficient method to learn something, all right? So if the mistake is not going to cost the employee losing his hand, or the nurse killing a patient, or the company getting sued, or we build a house, build a building that's crooked. If it's going to be a $5 mistake, if it's going to be half an hour mistake, if it's going to be a mistake on the computer, but not on NASA's computer controlling the International Space Station, let the employee go ahead and make that mistake. It is quite often the most efficient method to learn something. If you just keep on stopping them from making every little mistake, they will never, ever get a chance to learn. You are not helping them. You are actually harming them. All right? I cannot emphasize that enough. So the next round, okay, so the previous round, you have him do it, you stand right next to him, you allow him to ask you any questions. And the next round is you have him do it, and you are somewhere, let's say 10 feet away, busy on something, and working on something, but it's in the same room, and he can just call you, hey boss, I forgot, right, anytime, all right, but you're within that room. And then the next round is you're somewhere in the building. If he needs to get you, right, he has to walk to a different room, maybe 100 yards away to get you. All right. And then the next round is you're somewhere in the business on the premise, but for him to get you, he has to page you, call you on the cell phone, call you on the radio, or run for 2 minutes to come and get you. All right. The whole idea of this is, sure, the help is available. The help is accessible, but the help is gradually disappearing. It's more and more challenging to access the help, and it's more and more troublesome to access the help. And also, it's more and more humiliating to come and ask for help. Even though you're not going to say anything derogatory when they come and ask you for help. Oh, I forgot one more time. Sorry, boss. But it is humiliating because you're just less and less accessible. You're still accessible, just less accessible. All right. This way, they really pay attention and they really learn. Imagine if you told them, listen, I'm going to be standing right next to you, holding your hand, right? Until you get this right. Guess what's going to happen? They will never learn. Because the help is right here, so why should he remember? Why should he learn? Make sense? Right. So those are the steps, right, of delegating something. And then you watch, okay? 3 weeks, 3 months down the road, they might master this thing and they might start improving. They might even come to you and go, hey, boss, you know that thing you told me to do this and that and that? It takes 5 minutes. I found I can do this and do that. It's now only 4 minutes. You know, this is one of those typical parental experiences. That is teaching your kid how to ride a bicycle. Teaching your first kid how to ride a bicycle for the first time. So not only the kid is learning for the first time, you're also teaching for the first time. So you hold on tight, but your logical head says to your emotional heart, you know, I need to let go. At some point, I'm going to have to let go. And there are risks involved. My kid may have an accident, right? We might break something, but I cannot hold on forever. That is not healthy. That is not helpful. That is counterproductive. And it's not the kid, it's you. Not only the kid needs to grow from not knowing how to ride a bicycle to knowing how to ride a bicycle, you also need to grow. This is not only a growth experience for the kid, it is also a growth experience for you, the parent. The growth for you here is letting go, knowing there might be mistakes. There might be accidents, all right? You're taking a risk. But it's a worthwhile of a risk, because what if you hold on forever? What if you never allow your kid to learn how to ride a bicycle? Is that a good parenting strategy? No, it's not. So when it comes to delegation, it's not about your employees getting it right 100% the very first time. Trust me, they won't. If every single one of the employees got everything right the first time, all right, I'll give you twice your money back. It's not going to happen. They will not get everything right the very first time for all the tasks you gave them. It's not about that. Nor is it about you wasting time teaching them. It is about you obtaining the skill of delegation. It is about you becoming a master of delegation. It is about you building the habit, a professional habit of delegating tasks away. Otherwise, your career advancement will come to a stop. You will never again advance any further. And the whole corporation, if every leader within a corporation acted like hoarding tasks and won't delegate anything away, the corporation will just simply die. It's not good for the survival of the corporation. And those employees that you delegated tasks to, that you took a chance, that you groomed, you helped, you taught, you trained, they will advance and advance and advance. And this is one of the methods to build loyalty, employee loyalty. I have another webinar in which I talked about how loyalty from employee to corporation or from corporation to employees, that was all gone by 1990. I gave a detailed explanation of why we had it before 1990 and what happened during 1990 that it destroyed the two-way loyalty between corporation and employees. So today, there's an effective way for you to build loyalty from employees to you. True, genuine loyalty from your employees to you, the individual, and delegating tasks to them, training them, coaching them. That's one effective method to build loyalty from your people to you. And should these employees ever advance to somewhere else, another department, and getting promoted, becoming a fellow leader within the same organization, or go to a different organization, different company, different state, different country, you got yourself a solid connection to that company, that organization, wherever this employee will go. And you two are going to be tight like this. So why do you think there are successful business executives with connection everywhere, all over the world? This is one of the methods how they build it. So you delegate a lot of tasks and projects and jobs away, right? And they will come back to you. They will be coming back to you, interrupting you, asking for direction, asking for whatever. Or maybe there's an emergency. Maybe there's an outside customer standing right in front of your store, and then it's an emergency, and you have no choice but to roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty and get it done because it's a business emergency. All right. And there's nothing wrong with rolling up your sleeves, getting your hands dirty again to get something done because there's a business emergency. And this is something that you have already delegated away some time ago. There's nothing wrong with it. However, when the emergency is over, you need to think about this system that I implemented. Where in my system, in my culture, that I need to improve. I have room for improvement. So this kind of emergency will not happen again. So every time you had to roll up your sleeves, get your hands dirty to go back to do the hands-on work because of a business emergency, you need to think, how can I tweak the system, improve the system that I have invented? And so maybe put redundancy in there. I only taught Johnny. Maybe I should have taught Johnny and Scotty. So when Johnny is on his day off or Johnny is sick, then Scotty also know how to do it. So where should I improve my system so this kind of business emergency would not happen again? Because if you keep on getting interrupted, you can't do other tasks with a higher return on investment. Tasks are of higher value. The more you focus your time on tasks of higher value, higher return on investment, the smoother your team and the faster your career advancement. And your boss is also watching you. And your boss is also watching, see if you understand where to invest your limited time. Your time is one of your major capitals. How do you invest it? Where do you put it? Where should you invest your capital, your time, which is your capital, for the biggest bang for your buck, for the biggest return on your investment that has the highest interest rate? It's very important issue for you to think about as a leader. What if you get accused of playing favoritism? You see, some employees might confused, and some employees might pretend to be confused about a few key concepts. They're either confusing equal opportunity with equal outcome, or they're confusing meritocracy with favoritism. So when they see their colleagues are always getting delegated, always getting assigned those cool jobs, those juicy projects, they might come to you and accuse you of playing favoritism without realizing that you're assigning tasks based on meritocracy. And they are either genuinely confused or they're pretending to be confused. If you are assigning jobs, delegating tasks according to merit, you're not playing favoritism. Okay? It's meritocracy. It's just like sports. Right? So we got 64 teams. We're going to play, and I'm going to get down to 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. The winning team is going to keep on going. Is that favoritism? So this team beat the other team, so the team that won gets to go to the next round. The team that lost gets to pack up and go home. Is that favoritism? Or is that meritocracy? Have you ever seen lunch places, lunch shops, sandwich shops go out of business? Have you ever seen lunch places go gangbusters and become really, really successful, like McDonald's? Right? So if you had lunch at one lunch place and then you got food poisoning, or maybe the service was rude, right? Maybe you don't like the decoration, and so you stopped going there. And then other people also had bad experience and they stopped going there. And over a 6-month period, that particular sandwich shop just went bust, out of business. And then you keep on going to the other sandwich shop at lunchtime because their food tastes great, and you never had food poisoning, and then the employee there were always pleasant and courteous. Is that favoritism or is that meritocracy? Are you not a equal opportunity lunch buyer? Right? You're looking for a lunch place that can give you good food, tasty food, fast service, quality service, right? Right. So don't let those employees confuse you. Some of them are genuinely confused. So you can enlighten them, tell them the difference between meritocracy and favoritism. Favoritism is you keep on going to that lunch shop because it's owned by your brother-in-law. That's favoritism. You gave your company's $1 million service contract to a company because the owner of the company is your neighbor. That is favoritism. All right. If you delegated a task to Johnny on your team because Johnny bribed you with a bag of cash, $10,000, that's favoritism. But if you delegated a task to Johnny on your team because Johnny has been good, he comes here on time, he is always pleasant, and he endured difficulties, he's a fast learner, and he has attention to detail, he always delivers good workmanship, and you keep on delegating more tasks to him, more responsibility to him, that is not favoritism. That is meritocracy. Johnny earned all of those assignments, fair and square. One more thing regarding the word help, right? I had a lady in my leadership seminar, and then after I taught the section on delegation, she said she had a profound revelation. She manages a team of electronic engineers, and they all make parts for electronics. I think they either for aircraft or maybe they're for satellite. I don't remember, but it's high-end electronics, and all of these team members are electronic technicians. And she said in the past, okay, up to the point that she was taking my seminar, every time she sees an employee having challenge, having difficulty, she would just jump in there and she says, I would help them by just do it. I thought I was helping them. From this point on, since I just took the seminar, I realized I will no longer do that, because I just realized that's not exactly helping them. You see, here's the thing, okay? Here's the word help can be confusing. Let's say if I say to you, hey, Johnny, this Saturday I'm moving, so I got a U-Haul. Can you come and help? What do I mean by that? I meant I want you to come on Saturday, right? Participate in doing manual labor, carrying heavy furnitures out of my old house into the U-Haul, and then out of the U-Haul into my new house. I'm asking you to do manual labor, to do the actual manual labor work of lifting up heavy furnitures. But when you're a leader, okay, you got employees, you're delegating tasks to employees. If they are having a challenge and you just jump in there and do it fast and getting it done without showing them, without taking up the opportunity for them to learn, you're not helping them. You are harming them. You just robbed them of a golden opportunity to learn and grow. So that's not helping them. Stop performing their duties for them. All right? When they have challenge, teach them. Use that golden opportunity to teach them what they don't know, what they need to learn. I had a accountant in my leadership seminar, and she worked for a large accounting firm, and she was promoted into managing other accountants. And then when she took the delegation section, she commented, she said, oh my, you just solved one of the puzzles I've had for years. For years, my bosses would send me emails with long and detailed instructions on how to do X and Y and Z. For years, I was puzzled because it obviously took longer for my boss or my bosses to write that email and give me those instructions than for them to do it themselves. I couldn't figure out why until this seminar. And I realized they were putting the effort, the time to groom me to take over. That's why they invested that time, that effort, right, to write those long and detailed instructions over email to teach me how to do something that they could have done it themselves using less time than writing that email. I finally got it. I hope I've given you enough insights and ideas to help you to perform the upgrade of your thinking to the next level, from your previous level, which is employee mindset, which is expert mindset, to your new level, which is you got to think like organizer of other experts. If you don't organize, other experts cannot do their jobs. They depend on you to have all your ducks lined up, all the supplies, all the materials, all the tasks. Who does what first? Who does what second? They depend on you. If you don't organize, none of them can do their jobs. You're harming more than just yourself. You're harming the entire team, every individual within that team, if you don't organize, if you don't delegate, if all you can think about is your joy, your glory, and of you laying your hands on the job, getting your hands dirty, and getting the satisfaction of, I got it done one more time, look at me. That's old thinking. And I'm sure you have other leadership challenges. For example, how to coach your employees, how to get your employees to want to receive coaching, how to hire the right employees. I am sure some of you have made hiring mistakes, right? And you survived, and you're still alive. You lived to tell the story of what you learned. And I'm sure you have questions like, how do I sum up my courage to terminate, discipline, or even terminate some of these really, really bad employees? I'm sure you have questions like, how do I motivate my employees? I am motivated. I've always been motivated. But now I realize I need to motivate others. And I think some of you have already realized using what motivates yourself to motivate your employees, that may or may not work. Quite often, what motivates yourself is not a motivator for other people, not for your employees. So how do you get other people to want to be motivated like you? That's another typical leadership challenge. So if you have any leadership challenges, okay, simply send me an email. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So this way, when I release new educational videos, you will be notified and you will be the first to learn. And also, make sure you send this video to as many people as possible so we can all learn and grow together and help each other to grow together. We're in this together. And if you need private coaching, business consulting, or training, feel free to contact me. And my contact details are linked below.